Your eyes snap open and the world feels wrong. No hum of electricity. No glow of a phone screen. Just a sky bursting with stars that don't look familiar, stretching over an endless African savanna that hums with menace. The air slams into your lungs. Thick, dusty, laced with a primal edge that sets your heart racing before your brain can catch up. You're in Africa, 100,000 years ago, the birthplace of humanity, but trust me, it's no welcoming home. This is the Stone Age, a world that forged our species through blood, grit, and unrelenting brutality. You've got 24 hours to survive, and let's be real, you're not ready. Welcome to the human wild, where we strip away modern comforts and throw you into the raw, untamed heart of our past. Buckle up, because this is going to be a brutal ride. You're standing in the middle of a vast savanna, naked as the day you were born.
No clotes, no shoes, no pocketnife.
And definitely no Google to save you. The ground beneath your feet is a trap. Sharp stones hide in grass that looks soft but isn't. Thorns from acacia trees evolve to shred flesh. It's 6 a.m., and the temperature's already climbing to 35 degrees Celsius, 95 degrees Fahrenheit for those keeping track. By noon, it'll hit 47 degrees Celsius, 117 degrees Fahrenheit, and your body, tuned for air conditioning and iced lattes, isn't built for this. Your core temperature will creep toward 42 degrees Celsius, where your brain starts cooking like an egg on a skillet. Heat stroke is just one of your problems, and it's not even the worst. You take a step, and the ground fights back. Your soft, modern feet are bleeding within minutes. Every drop a signal to the predators out there. And they're watching. A leopard's been tracking you for 20 minutes. Perched in an acacia tree, its spotted coat blending perfectly with the dappled light. Your eyes, trained for text notifications, miss the subtle shift of muscle and claw. Your nose, used to city smog, can't pick up the musky scent that would have sent your ancestors sprinting. In 3 seconds, 140 pounds of killing machine could drop onto your back, canines aimed for your skull. You wouldn't even see the shadow. Let's say you dodge that leopard somehow. You're still in trouble. The air is thick with smells you can't read. Musk, dung, decay. Your ancestors could parse these like a newspaper. Elephant passed yesterday. Hyenas killed nearby. Water's close, but so are crocodiles. You just smell fear and unfamiliarity. Grass shifts in a way that feels wrong. You think wind, your ancestors thought death. They were usually right. In Paleolithic Africa, everything that moves is predator, prey, or competition. You're none of those, just meat that hasn't figured it out yet. A sound cracks the morning calm. Not quite a roar, not quite a laugh. It's a clan of spotted hyenas, 20 to 80 strong, with bite forces that snap elephant bones like peanuts. These aren't scavengers. They're matriarchal, intelligent hunters with a success rate over 74%, higher than lions, higher than anything you could outrun. Your brain, wired for spreadsheets and social media, tries to rationalize. Maybe they're far off, maybe they're not hungry, maybe you can climb a tree. But this isn't a movie. Hyenas can smell that cut on your foot from 10 kilometers, and it's broadcasting your location like a GPS made of blood. The sun climbs higher, no clouds, no mercy. Vultures circle in the distance, waiting for something to die. In 6 hours, that could be you. In 12, it probably will be. Your mind screams for solutions that don't exist. Call for help? To who? Find a weapon? With what skills? Build a shelter? From what? Every answer needs knowledge you never learned, tools you can't craft, toughness you don't have. You've been awake for 5 minutes, and time's already running out. The heat is a killer now. The ground hits 65 degrees Celsius, 149 degrees Fahrenheit, hot enough to cook eggs, hot enough to cook you. Your body's a marvel of heat dissipation, with 2 to 3 million sweat glands pumping moisture to cool you. But in 15% humidity, your sweat evaporates before it works, leaving salt crusts that sting your cracked skin. You're losing 2 liters of water per hour, and there's no corner store for a refill. Your core temperature's at 39.5 degrees Celsius, creeping toward 40 degrees Celsius. At 42 degrees Celsius, your proteins denature, your enzymes quit. Your brain, 86 billion neurons strong, starts to fry. Your head throbs, your vision blurs. Not from sweat, but from optic nerves misfiring. Muscles cramp, not gym session cramps, but full-body convulsions that feel like your skeleton's trying to escape. You need water desperately. Your throat burns, your tongue's leather, every cell screaming for hydration. A muddy water hole glints 200 meters away, but the bones around it, human, some child-sized, tell a story you don't want to hear. Crocodiles own that water, 7.5-meter Pleistocene monsters with a 5,000 psi bite force. It takes 160 psi to crush a skull. You'd be lunch before you could scream. Even if you dodge the crocs, that water's a death cocktail: amoebic dysentery, schistosomiasis, cholera. One sip, and you're gambling on a 90% chance of dying in agony within 18 hours. You spot a cleaner stream. Good luck storing it. Your ancestors used ostrich eggs or sealed calabashes. You've got cupped hands, losing 90% before it reaches your mouth. Every sip's a risk, and you're losing. Kidneys shutting down, urine darkening to amber, blood thickening to syrup. Your heart pounds to push it through narrowing vessels, your brain starved of oxygen, glitching. Hallucinations creep in. An oasis? Your dying neurons? You're hitting the hard limit of human physiology. And it's only mid-morning. Plants look tempting. A succulent's juicy leaves glisten. One bite and it's Euphorbia candelabrum, burning your mouth, blistering your skin, blinding you, killing you. Your ancestors knew 1,100 plant species, which roots needed leaching, which seeds needed fermentation to neutralize cyanide, which bark treated fever. You know nothing. Those grass seeds? Panicum maximum, laced with cyanide. Death tastes like bitter almonds, 20 minutes of convulsions. Touching the wrong plant is just as bad. Dendrocnide moroides, the suicide plant, has needles that inject neurotoxins so painful victims ended their lives to escape.
No antidote. No merci.
Insects join the assault. Safari ants, 20 million strong, strip flesh to bone in hours. Tsetse flies carry Trypanosoma brucei, triggering sleeping sickness, fever, confusion, coma. Ticks spread Crimean Congo hemorrhagic fever, 30% mortality. You're not just fighting leopards, you're fighting an ecosystem evolved to end you. You're 3 hours in, feet shredded, skin burning, mind fracturing. You need shelter, but acacias impale. Overhangs are leopard territory. Grass hides predators. Your ancestors knew every safe spot. You're guessing, and every guess is wrong. You try to think like a survivor. Follow animals to water. Predators know that trick. Water holes are killing fields at dawn and dusk. You're not finding water. You're joining a buffet as the main course. Digging for water? The ground's baked. Water table 30 meters down. Your soft hands would bleed out first. Plant moisture? The wrong vine means kidney failure. Your ancestors learned through generations of deadly trials. You've got one life to experiment and you're running on empty. 5 hours in, the isolation is crushing. Humans are social, wired for connection, for shared survival. Your ancestors lived in bands of 25, pooling 600 hours of labor daily. Hunting, gathering, guarding, teaching. You've got 24 hours, most spent dying. No one watches your back, no one shares knowledge. No one pulls you from panic spiral. A rustle, wind, or predator. No one to ask. Your brain, built for social bonds, conjures paranoia, hallucinations. Is that tree moving? Is your name being whispered? You're losing it, alone, in a world where solitude is death. The leopard's still watching, waiting for you to stop moving, and the night's coming fast, bringing a whole new kind of hell. The sun's dipping low now, and you're still clinging to life, though barely. Your body's a wreck. Feet bleeding, skin blistered, throat like sandpaper. The African savanna doesn't let up, and as the light fades, the real nightmare begins. You're naked, dehydrated, and alone in Paleolithic Africa, and the darkness is about to show you just how unprepared you are. You're still with the human wild, and trust me, things are about to get darker. The temperature plummets 35 degrees Celsius to 18 degrees Celsius in hours, and your naked body, battered by the sun, can't handle the cold. Shivering kicks in, violent, burning glucose you don't have. Your core temperature's dipping to 34 degrees Celsius, the edge of hypothermia. Without fire or shelter, you're looking at cardiac arrhythmia in 4 hours, death in 6. Your ancestors mastered fire 1.5 million years ago, but you're about to learn why it's more than warmth. It's the line between human and meat. You try friction fire like those survival shows. Spin a stick, get smoke, blow gently, flame. Reality's not that kind. It needs specific wood, precise pressure, perfect tinder, technique you don't have. Your shaking hands can't hold a stick steady, let alone spin it for an ember. Softwood for the fireboard, hardwood for the spindle. Mix them wrong and you're just rubbing sticks like a fool. Your ancestors knew every tree's burning personality. You can't tell cedar from cottonwood, and your bloody, blistered hands make every attempt a failure. Even if you got an ember, then what? Tinder needs perfect grading, thread-thin fibers for the spark, thicker ones for heat, twigs for flame. One mistake and it dies. African humidity dampens most materials. Your ancestors carried fire in horn containers, smoldering punk wood to keep it alive. Losing fire meant tribal extinction. You're losing it before you start, and the predators know it. The night belongs to them. Your pathetic grass pile, built over 3 desperate hours, offers zero protection. Mosquitoes swarm, Pleistocene monsters carrying malaria strains your immune system can't fight. Each bite's a ticket to cerebral malaria, 72 hours to death if you're lucky. The darkness is absolute, no moon, no stars through clouds. Your night vision's a joke. Leopards see 6 times better, their tapetum lucidum turning eyes into glowing death. Your meat in high definition. Sounds pierce the dark. Hyena whoops carrying 5 kilometers. Lion roars with infrasound that paralyzes. Leopard snarls claiming their prize. Every rustle could be wind or a 200-kilogram cat. Your ancestors navigated by memory, stars, shared knowledge. You're stumbling blindly. Solid ground, snake, or cliff edge. Standing still makes you an easier target. There's no winning move. Your body's shutting down. Hypothermia tightens its grip, muscles seizing through their last fuel. Blood sugars crashing. Hypoglycemia brings shaking hands, blurred vision, fragmented thoughts. You need 4,000 calories a day here, and you've consumed 0. Those berries you ate, Solanum retroflexum, African nightshade, 2 cause hallucinations, 5 paralysis, 10 stop your heart. Solanine's burning your throat, the first sign of poison. Insects keep coming. Sandflies inject leishmania. Assassin bugs carry chagas. Botflies lay eggs in your flesh. Your slaps attract more, blood scent pulling them like magnets. The psychological horror peaks. Darkness triggers primal fears. Every shadow's a leopard. Every whisper a predator. Your brain, wired for patterns, creates threats from nothing while missing real ones. That leopard's closing in, patient, waiting for you to collapse. You fight to stay awake, but your body craves sleep. Sleeping's death, though. Microsleeps hit, brief blackouts leaving you disoriented. One step closer to the end. Hyenas grow bolder, their laughter closer. They know you're done. They're just waiting. Your ancestors used fire to claim territory, to say, "This is human ground." Without it, you're a weak, slow, defenseless primate. The cold eats you alive, radiating 100 watts per square meter of skin. Your grass pile blocks 10% of the wind. You need 90% to survive. Your ancestors built shelters with precise thermal calculations, elephant grass, branches, hides. You built desperation, and it's failing. Predators circle, drawn by your heat, blood, fear. They don't rush. They've been doing this for millions of years. You've been failing for 12. You're dying of ignorance. Your ancestors carried a library, plants, animals, tools. By age 5, their kids knew 200 plants, tracked game, made tools. You can't find safe food. Every choice is a gamble and you're out of chips. The night stretches on, endless, suffocating, and you're not seeing dawn. Your body's a husk, your mind a flickering candle, and the savannah's about to snuff it out. You're at hour 18, and you're barely you anymore. The African night has claimed you, piece by piece, and the end is close. You're still with the human wild, watching a modern human unravel in humanity's birthplace. Let's see how much worse this gets. Your core temperature's 32 degrees Celsius, blood pressure 60/30ths, barely keeping you conscious. Your heart struggles, lungs labor with wet, ragged breaths. Solanine from those berries paralyzes your diaphragm. You're suffocating, aware of every failed gasp. Malaria spikes a fever, making you shiver in the freezing night. Dysentery drains fluids. Tetanus locks muscles in agony. You're fighting a dozen diseases and your immune system's done. Africa kills with microbes as much as claws. That mosquito bite from hour 2, Plasmodium falciparum, invading your red blood cells. In 48 hours, a 104 degrees Fahrenheit fever. In 72, coma. The tsetse fly bite, Trypanosoma brucei, sleeping sickness, headaches, confusion, coma. The water, Entamoeba histolytica, amoebic dysentery, shredding your gut. Unwashed hands brought Strongyloides stercoralis, worms penetrating skin, migrating to lungs, setting up in your intestines. They'd live decades if you had them. The thorn in your foot, Clostridium tetani, tetanus locking your jaw, arching your spine until it snaps. Lung flukes, Paragonimus westermanni, turn lungs to Swiss cheese. You're coughing blood, drowning in your own organs. Your mind's fracturing. Solanine brings hallucinations, vivid visions of food, faces, home. Your brain, starved of glucose, conjures mirages more real than reality. Is that your grandmother calling, or neurons misfiring? Your hippocampus shuts down. You can't remember where you came from, if that water hole was always there. You're lost standing still. Hyenas stop laughing, bad news. Silence means they've decided. You hear their breathing, smell their rancid breath, feel the ground vibrate. They're not rushing. You're paralyzed by poison, exhaustion, fear. A leopard watches, calculating if you're worth stealing. You're not just meat. You try to fight. Climb a tree, your muscles laugh. Leopard's own branches, caching kills there. Run, your feet are raw steaks, legs useless. Vultures multiply, 12 now, 3-meter wingspans circling with geological patience. They know you're done. The psychological horror is as bad as the physical. Humans need meaning, connection. Your ancestors had stories, roles, community. You're alone, your brain eating itself without bonds. Paranoia sets in, rustling predator or madness. You're computing social equations with no variables, and the result's insanity. Your ancestors faced horror with hope, a tribe to share the load. You're carrying it all and it's crushing you. Food's a cruel joke. Tubers? Toxic without processing. Seeds? Heart-stopping. If you caught a bird, what then? Your teeth can't tear hide, your jaw can't crack bones. Your ancestors had molars like millstones, you've got cosmetic dentistry. You're starving in a locked butcher shop. The night's endless, suffocating. You're dying of ignorance. Your ancestors carried 200,000 years of knowledge, plants, animals, tools. You're rebuilding from scratch and it's not working. Every gamble's a loss. You're not just dying. You're proving humans don't survive alone. The savannah's about to close the book on you. You're at hour 23, and you're not really you anymore. Your body's a husk, your mind a candle in a storm. The African night has won, and the end's here. This is the human wild, watching a modern human learn the hardest lesson. Survival in the Stone Age wasn't about individuals. It was about us, together, learning, surviving. Let's finish this. Your core temperature's 32 degrees Celsius. Blood pressure barely registering. Your heart struggles, lungs drowning in blood and tissue. Solanine paralyzes your diaphragm. You suffocate, conscious of every gasp. Malaria burns, dysentery drains. Tetanus locks you in pain. Your body's a symphony of failure, each system collapsing in harmony. You're dying of everything. Hyenas are here, their silence terrifying. The first bite's gentle. Testing. You can't fight, your body quit hours ago. They start with soft tissues, and you're alive, shock a mercy you can't afford. A leopard watches, deciding if you're worth fighting for. You're not just meat processed by the food chain. Your brain holds on, firing random memories, childhood, first love, last meal. Mundane mixes with profound, neurons dying in electrical storms. You're watching your end, aware, evolution's cruelest gift, knowing you're dying. Vultures wait, jackals claim scraps, beetles process fragments, bacteria dissolve the rest. In days, nothing remains but bones and a story no one hears. You came to test yourself against humanity's forge, but brought nothing, no tools, knowledge, people. Failure was inevitable. Your ancestors conquered this through collective intelligence. By 3, their kids knew toxic plants. By 5, they tracked game. By 8, they made tools. By 12, they contributed to survival. Not prodigies, normal kids in a system where failure meant starvation. Their bodies were weapons, 10% body fat, tendons like steel, feet running on thorns. They carried mental maps of continents, cataloging water, predators, minerals. Toolmaking was art, striking 50 flakes from a core, each angle calculated. Social networks spanned thousands, sharing weather, resources, threats. Your death would have been a tale 500 kilometers away. They hunted like psychological warriors, reading animal behavior, manipulating fear. Fire mastery was engineering, banking coals, hardening spears, signaling 50 kilometers. Medicine included surgery, bone setting, antiseptics from fungi, without germ theory. They ran corporations without spreadsheets, balancing energy, risk, resources with precision. Their knowledge was a library in stories, songs, dances, navigation in stars, medicine in plants, history in metaphors, transmitted through relationships, refined by deadly trials. You're rebuilding that library with no books, no teachers, no time. Like solving calculus without numbers, surgery without anatomy. You didn't fail because you're weak, because you're untrained, unadapted, alone. Your ancestors weren't smarter. They were educated by reality, graduated by survival. You're failing an exam to a school closed 10,000 years ago, tuition paid in blood you can't afford. Your heart stops, brain firing its last sparks. Your bones fertilize the soil, iron fuels blood, calcium builds skeletons. Africa doesn't mourn. It recycles. You tested yourself, but the test was rigged. Survival isn't about individuals. It's about community, knowledge, will. It's about becoming human, together, against a world that doesn't care. That's the story of the human wild. We're here because our ancestors were more than individuals. They built an invisible civilization from hunger, stone, cooperation. What do you think? Could you survive out there? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that subscribe button, and let's keep exploring the wild side of humanity together. Stay wild, stay connected, and we'll see you in the next one.